Hello and welcome to Live Coding Happy Hour on today, December 17th in the US, 18th for some people. We're excited about today's show. We're going to be doing not any coding today, it's just live happy hour. But before we get into it, we're going to do some introductions. And first, we'll start with Chuck and then go around the screen.
Hey, my name is Chuck Tomasi, Senior Developer Advocate at ServiceNow, and I just love seeing Brad's picture pop out. I was a customer back in 2008 to 2010, and I've been on the platform ever since, been an employee ever since, and having a great time. Happy to be here. What can we make the C stand for? Live Christmas happy hour? Live celebration happy hour?
Holiday, just LHHHHHHH. Live holiday happy hour.
We already have two H's and we're making C and H now too. Hi everyone, I am Earl Duque. I am a developer advocate with ServiceNow, and you're all probably regretting ever giving me access to all the buttons for this stream.
If we can ever close that contract and get the real big product, we can restrict you.
Until then.
Right.
Brad's so in 3D.
All right. Ashish.
Hey, I'm Ashish Atre. I have been in the service now from 5 years, and I'm the integration and the service portal specialist. And yeah, this is a good Christmas LCHH.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you, Chuck.
Good morning. My name is Andrew Aubrey-Dorr, Upside Down Andrew to a lot of people who know me. I am a senior developer platform lead at Australia Post currently, and it is very early in the morning, so bear with me. That's all I ask.
Hi, I'm Jared Munt, VP of Engineering at Clear Sky, ServiceNow product partner. Before that, I've spent time at implementation partners and at customers. Been on ServiceNow since about 2014 and here today.
Say hi to TJ for us. Haven't talked to him in years.
TJ's around and kicking, yeah.
Hi, good evening, everyone. This is Mark Ruthoff calling in from the Netherlands. I'm a platform architect for Quinn Technology, and now into the ServiceNow space for about 5 years. Loving it a lot, and great to be here.
Yeah, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. I'm Phil Swan. I work for Rangu. I'm a managing consultant. I've been working with ServiceNow since around 2014 as well, working in GRC since 2017, in IT since 2000. So happy to be here. It's been the Rangu Christmas kind of get together today, so I'm feeling very festive. I feel like Chuck has kind of out-hatted me, but that's what it is. So thanks for having me.
And my name is Brad Tilton, and I'm a senior developer advocate with the developer program at ServiceNow. I've been developing on the platform for a long time and am excited about today's show. But before we get into it, we have to introduce our special friends, our drinks. So we'll go in the same order. Chuck.
All right, I have a traditional Phoenix, Arizona Christmas beer. It is, of course, Modelo Especial.
Very nice. I have, because this is always about the time I get sleepy during the day, I have an early bird milk stout brewed with chicory, bird rock coffee, and lactose. Early bird.
Wow.
And I have the water bottle with me.
Okay.
Nice.
I'm also in the not alcoholic camp because it's 7:30 a.m. So I've got a double espresso that I'm about halfway through already because it's been a morning.
And I'm going with a local Colorado cola from one of the local Colorado soda companies.
Nice.
And I've got in my Aussie stubby holder the same beer as 2 weeks ago, because I still have some left. So it's a Cooper's Pale Ale.
Awesome.
That's not the same bottle, is it, Mark?
Oh, I just had a case, and there are two left.
Just
So,
been nursing
yeah.
it for 2 weeks straight now.
Just little sips.
I've got a Siren Calypso. This is a dry hopped sour. I've literally never had one of these before. It came in a crate thanks to Avios. This show's not sponsored by Avios, but I did have a few kicking around, so I've ordered a box, and this was in there. So we'll let you know how this goes at the end of the show, I think.
All right. And I have a double vanilla noir. It's a barrel-aged stout with Madagascar vanilla and Tahitian vanilla. So I don't know if I'll be able to pick out the two different vanillas in there, but we'll have to see. All right. Well, we have a fun show today. Like I said, we're not going to do any actual development, but what we decided to do was give our MVPs. So the 5 people that we have below the advocates on the screen here are all developer MVPs. They are 5 of the 23 developer MVPs that we have. We first wanted to say a big thank you to all of our 2021 developer MVPs. Thank y'all for everything you do for the developer community, and we really appreciate having y'all part of the program. We also do have the 2022 Developer MVP candidacy open right now. If you go to the developer blog, you can find out more information about how to submit yourself as a candidate to be a developer MVP for 2022. So I encourage you, if you think you might want to do that or be interested in it, go ahead and take a look at the blog, submit yourself, and get in there, and we'll be announcing who the 2022 developer MVPs are towards the end of January of this next year. So yes, Kevin, you have to do more than just saying that you submit yourself, though. You have to actually do it. It's not, you can't just declare bankruptcy.
Declare.
So what we wanted to do today was give the floor to our developer MVPs and let them give some advice and kind of go over what they thought was great about 2021 in terms of ServiceNow development, what they're looking forward to from next year, and really just kind of open the floor panel style to some of those things. So Chuck, Earl, y'all want to say anything before we get started?
Looking forward to hearing what everybody's got to say.
Before we get started, I can answer this question. Jameson asked, is it based on community contribution or is it just handpicked by the team here? It's actually based off of quite a number of criteria, not just community contribution, but also things like blogs out there in the wild, YouTube content, if you've been a speaker before, if you've been a meetup organizer, the different dev programs that we've hosted, have you participated in those things? Just a general, how active are you in the dev community? We're trying to notice you in that and highlight you. That's kind of the criteria.
Yeah, and there's a lot that goes on in the kind of overall developer community that it's not just community.servicenow.com. There is a community MVP program. If you're just all in on community.servicenow.com, that's awesome. But there are a lot of other things like developer meetups and CreatorCon and other ways to get involved. So it's really about, how involved are you? How much are you giving back to the community? And we do our best to kind of gauge that and measure it and award points and stuff off of it on the back end. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started and just kind of let some of the MVPs talk about something that they want to tell developers. Could be new developers or seasoned developers or both. But do we have any volunteers? I asked for volunteers earlier and nobody said anything, and Andrew actually hit himself on camera. So we'll see. Any volunteers to start this off?
Yeah, let me start.
All right.
I would happy to start. So yeah, for the best thing in the 2021 was that I have got the MVP. And the best part is what every developer should do when they are starting their ServiceNow journey. They should keep on trying the new stuff, keep on trying the new things. If they are starting with the user administration, they are starting with any specific module, they try to get their hands dirty as much as possible, so that they get to know about each and every minute details about the implementation, about the development. If they are working on the script, then they should go deep dive into the script and try to use the best practice as much as possible, because the best practice helps you to improve your health scan score of the instance.
All right.
That's a lot of new features to go try every release.
Yeah.
That's a full-time job. Wait, no, that's my
absolutely.
job.
All right, who's next?
Yeah, I can go next. Talk about what I really liked about this year. For me, it's been an interesting year. I haven't been quite as active in the broader developer community because I've stepped into a new role and have actually started doing some people leading stuff, which is an interesting career turn. But it's something that a lot of people have really stepped up and helped me with. And it really goes to show that the developer community isn't just about best coding standards for your code or new features. It's a friendship group, and I have met new people and I've had some really fun times this year. And even though I haven't been as straight up vocal as I was maybe last year, it's still something that has been very important to me, having the developer community behind me. Really excited to see what the future brings. Yeah. That'll probably do me for about now. And I'm looking at my giant face and realizing how tired I look. So that's fun. And it's not going away.
It's just a filter.
Thanks, guys.
That's all, Earl.
Yeah.
I'll add on to Andrew's thoughts. I'm in a role now where I'm leading people, I'm interviewing people, doing less hands-on development, but more staying in touch with what the developers are doing in the direction. And so I think, yeah, one of the big takeaways for me in 2021 was just the power of the community and power of repetition. So a couple years ago, some people at ServiceNow said, hey, try out Flow Designer, try out Integration Hub. If they would have just said it twice and never mentioned again, we'd still be in workflows and scripted REST messages and things like that. So the power of repetition, the power of giving people detailed enablement and examples, it really does make a difference. And then as advice to any developer, senior or junior, I would say, like Ashish, commit to something specific. and just go go deep on a particular topic, and don't try and be an expert on everything on day one. And don't change your mind every week when something new and shiny comes along, right? Because there's always going to be something newer and shinier. Trust me, you'll have time in the future to pivot and do that. But if you're going into SecOps, if you're going into encryption and platform security, that's right. #FLADvocate. Check it out on Twitter and LinkedIn, and on the SNDF Slack. So yeah, I think that's my top 2 things. I could probably come up with 5 more if we do another round, but those are the big 2.
Yeah, so you both mentioned, Andrew and Jared, that you're doing some people leading now, and maybe some interviewing. Do you have any like really specific, if somebody's looking for a job or interviewing right now, like do you have any specific advice you could give them?
Yeah, find me on LinkedIn. Yeah, you go, Jared. Sorry.
I'd say all the best jobs that I've had in the last 10 years, or probably my whole career, have come from networking with people and not going in through the front door. Mm-hmm. So it's important to have a good looking resume. It's important to have your good elevator pitch about who you are and what you want, but also meet some people. And I know it do as much in person as you can and are comfortable doing, but there's so many avenues virtual as well. You can attend like I could attend the Phoenix meetup next year if I wanted to, just by paying attention out on community and things like that. So and then also being involved on community. I would rather see somebody that says they're a level 3 whatever out on community on a resume than I have a master's degree in computer science, or a link to a GitHub repo versus something old, more traditional.
Show them your leaderboard points from SNDF Slack.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've been doing some interviewing this year as well, and it was definitely a point that not a lot of the candidates that we had in our area in Australia were particularly involved in the community. And I think as someone who's looking for people, it's like if you say, I'm in the community, I'm giving back, it kind of shows that next level of understanding and I don't know if generosity is the right word, but the ability to take stuff, learn from it, and then you want to help people learn what you've learned and better yourself and everyone else around you. That's a really good indicator to me that you're going to be a good fit for a team.
Nice, yeah. Or that you're susceptible to gamification.
That's true.
Yeah. No, that's a great point, though. Somebody that's in the community also has kind of a support system through the community. If you've been on the SNDev Slack, I mean, that there's people that'll answer any sort of question, whether it's ServiceNow related or not.
But I think
absolutely.
It's also.
Go for it.
I think it's also like when you are contributing, you're actually also gaining a lot of knowledge from it, because you see more popping up or people responding to you, or you have to think about how am I going to transfer my knowledge, things like that. So I think by contributing, you're actually just growing yourself as well. So yeah.
Do you want to continue, Mark, with advice from the past year?
Oh, sure. Yeah. Well, first for this year, memorable things for myself, obviously being a second-time Dev MVP and being 4 times on Live Coding Happy Hour. A lot of fun. Looking at the releases of this year. I like Employee Center a lot, and obviously Instant Scan. Instant Scan was already around with Orlando, but not publicly. But with Quebec, it was really publicly. Yeah, topics that I would like to mention to other developers if they're fresh or already for a few years in the space. Maybe two things. One would be debug your code, and the other one, which is for me really big, is know your resources. And with know your resources, I don't mean like knowing people, but more what documentation is out there. Can you find those things? You don't need to know everything from the top of your mind, or you do if you are doing exams. But in all other cases, like, do you know how the ServiceNow community works? Or if you have something about translation or languages, do you know there's actually a specific community for that? And by posting there, you will get you will attract a better audience and will get better answers or quicker. But also, I see questions flying by on the ServiceNow community or on Slack about adding days and doing, well, all kinds of things with days. And I'm thinking, hey, there's a resource for that. The doc side with great examples, or the developer side with a lot of code and APIs described. So do you also know that resource, the doc side and the developer side? Or customer success center, do you know how to use it? But also resources on YouTube. For example, maybe you're starting now with integrations. Chuck actually did in the past year a lot of short videos on integrations. Do you know how to find them? And it's really easy to follow them and to gain knowledge from them. Or for myself, I think 2 years ago I was for the first time busy with OAuth 2, and I was stuck with something, so I just went searching and saw 4 older episodes of Live Coding Happy Hour. Just followed those episodes. Didn't got the exact answer, but I did got a really clear idea of like where to go or where to search for. So yeah, know your resources, know what's out there and what you can use. Maybe the last thing on know your resources, also like the ServiceNow community. I see it with a lot of people, also a lot of colleagues or people at customers. They are searching on the community, and they are searching on Google, but when they don't find their answer or they can't make it work, do they actually ask a question? It's not bad to ask a question on the community. Just do. Just post. Use that resource as well. That's just the main thing for me. Know your resources.
Yeah, shout out to Josh Nereus for some of those old classic episodes with a bunch of OAuth inside of it.
Yeah.
It was a little. I mean, you can refer to it, but no, I found myself referring to it a couple of times, and after about the second time, I went, I'm watching an hour's worth of video that has good information in an unstructured format. Maybe we can, trim this up. Yeah. So it also, the other big thing that kind of disturbed me from the beginning is how are all these pieces related? You've got the credential, the connection, the alias, the OAuth entity, the OAuth entity profile. Like, someone please build me a picture. So I reverse engineered all of the data model and put that into one of those videos, just so it's there and it takes 5 minutes to digest instead. So I tried putting the comment in the YouTube, but I guess it doesn't like full URLs. So devlink.sn/learn-integrations.
Try again. I can allow it. All right.
What else we got? Highlights 21. What are you looking forward to in 22? That kind of thing.
Well, Phil hasn't gone yet.
No, that's fine. I think Mark smashed it with know your resources. I mean, that's actually summed up a lot of the angle that you need to take on things. My kind of point in terms of advice to other developers was really about digging deep. So, don't be shy. If something new comes out, look into it. Use the .config. So when you see a table that you're comfortable with, you know how it works. Let's take incident as an example. If you just go to incident.config, have a look at all the business rules, all the dictionary entries, all the client scripts, UI policies. You actually see flows there now as well as a related tab. Have a look around, see what is going on that table, and you will realize how that table is actually driving other functionality in its relationships with other tables as well. So I find that the .config angle is the way to really dig into something that's happening specifically on a given table. Okay,
Did
so
you say flows are on there now?
yeah, you've got a flow. In fact, the tab is that's only going to show you if it's triggered from a flow. It won't show you obviously all of the interactions.
Right.
But if that table is triggering a flow from a conditional trigger, then yeah, you'll see flows on there. So I mean that .config, and if you do it uppercase as well, you keep it open, and you've got SNU tools and all. Get those things installed as well. But don't be shy. Like dig in, look into what is going on that table. Don't just read the docs. Obviously, know your resources, like Mark says, but dig into it.
That was my bad. Keep going.
I'll keep going. I can keep going if you like.
Okay.
I think Earl was giving you a hint.
What was
Playing the music at the end.
Stop. That was the hint.
We have some advice from the dev MVPs that couldn't make it onto the episode too. So just wanted to highlight some of their advice and try to get it out there in the open for everybody. Ashley mentions, maybe we could take turns reading these, fellas. Ashley says, share what you learned with the community, either via the community site, the SN Dev Slack, or your own site. If you have questions about something, more than likely others do too. Document your experiences as a developer if you think they will be helpful to others. The more resources and knowledge we have in the ServiceNow ecosystem, the better. If you're hesitant to put yourself out there, I say go for it. Your voice matters, and we can all benefit from the community being more vocal. And if there's anybody out there that is really, really good about finding out something technical about ServiceNow and then putting it in a blog, it is Ashley.
Yeah.
Go to her blog. She has found so many cool things about ServiceNow. Also, ignore the thing that says confidential on the bottom right. It's not confidential.
Yeah, I was going to say Ashley is maybe the best at this. Yeah.
AshleySN.com.
And that's, I mentioned this on one of the podcasts as well. Don't think that your lack of experience is an excuse not to do this, because there are a lot of new people out there. There's a lot of fresh people out there that can benefit from your experience as well. You go, hey, I just discovered this. You know what? How many things have been in the platform since the beginning that I've never seen? And it takes some fresh eyes for me to open that up, or stop getting me to do the way that I used to, and show me something new that maybe just got into the platform and they went through a recent system fundamentals course and went, hey, this is what they're teaching now. I went, cool. I never knew that because I went through that 13 years ago. So it's share what you learn, even if it feels very fundamental, very simple. You never know who. I remember the first time I showed somebody like right-click filter out, they just about flipped their lid. And I went, I thought everybody knew that. Don't assume everybody knows everything. Share what you've learned.
That old adage, I've forgotten more in my time than you've learned in yours, is it's surprisingly like new people will come in and just do something that I'd seen years ago and completely forgot about. And so it helps me.
Or there may be a thing that, just because I've done this for so long and know about it, I don't even think about like, oh, hey, people need to know about this thing in order to do this. And so somebody who's new to it can come in and they think, oh, I had to know about this, so I'm going to go ahead and share it with everybody. So It is incredibly useful for people to document and put that out there as they're learning it.
Yeah. Something I've also seen recently, sorry, just to sort of jump on that bandwagon, is there's so many new features, new specific things coming out each release. So the list of integration hub spokes or service graph connectors, these sort of things that not everyone will use. It's not like a platform feature, but the more that come out, the more filtered the knowledge is there. So if you're doing something in your organization using one of these connectors and it's something a little bit different, it's worth documenting and it's worth sharing, because there's going to be 10 other businesses in the world who are going to do the same thing. And when they put the, service graph connector workspace 1 UEM, whatever, into Google, the only result is going to be your findings. Like there'll be a docs page, and the docs page will have 7 steps, and step number 6 is not going to have enough information, and you're going to have to spend an hour to understand what's missing between step 6 and step 7. And then if you document that, put it in a blog, put it on community, it's going to save someone that hour in the future.
TJ just reminded me of a recent thread on LinkedIn about somebody said, "Hey, did you know?" It was kind of like the TIL, things I learned on our Slack channel. They said, "Did you know that you can do incident.list and incident.uppercase list?" And that thread blew up. It was crazy. It's still going. I saw another comment today, and this was like a week or 2 ago. So even if it seems obvious, throw it out there. Incident.list blows people's minds. It's great. So Nia says, don't be afraid. You can all read what's on the screen for the last 10 minutes, but don't be afraid to reach out to the community and get involved. It's good for you and it's good for the community. Absolutely. Brad and I were talking about this as well when we were doing the community episode. Take some time and get yourself out there. If you've got a specialty, maybe it's front end, maybe it's back end, maybe it's somewhere in between. You go in and you spend some time and say, I'm going to answer one question today, or I'm going to find a question in my specialty that I cannot answer so that I'm forced to go learn what that is. Like, hey, why don't I know that? I should know that. I'm theoretically the expert in service portal integrations. Put your favorite piece here. And you will learn, and then you've got material to share. And the community also lets you, you'll start to see threads. You start to see this theme and go, that's the 3rd time I've answered that question this week. Maybe I should write a blog article on that thing. Or here's a new feature. I want to be the first one to get there with this new feature. So you can set yourself apart in that way.
Yeah. I love the individual topics on the community. Being able to get on the leaderboard for a topic in a month, is a doable thing for most people if you really try.
Eric says, find someone you can watch over their shoulder. It can be a super powerful way to learn things that you didn't expect. ServiceNow is a big, intricate place, and there are tons of hidden little things out there that will make life easier. Yes, I absolutely agree. It can also help solve some of your problems. I remember I was doing a voiceover for a script a few years ago. When you add choices, when you go through, right click on a field label and say add choices, and you get the slush bucket thing. It's like, here's what's available. Here's what you've selected. And below, you can add a new entry. For whatever reason, I would type in like a color, dark space red. And the value of that would say dark %20 red. I don't know if any of you have been around long enough to remember that, but it was really annoying. Well, the scriptwriter says, I can't duplicate that. I said, what do you mean you can't duplicate this? We're putting words into a text field. And it came down to the fact that she was hitting the submit button, save button, whatever it was that took it from the text box and put it into the left or the right-hand side of the slush bucket. And I was hitting tab. I mean, literally, we were logged in as the same person and doing the same thing. And I went, certainly there's not a chunk of code in here that Fred Luddy put in that says, if Chuck is at the keyboard, let's mess with his mind. It was the fact that she said, wait, slow down. You didn't hit the enter key. What did you do? I said, no, I hit tab. Oh, and then I promptly walked across the hall to the software development team and said, please fix this. It should not be this esoteric. So they did. I think that was like Fuji time frame or something that it happened. But those are the kinds of things you'll notice is how can you be faster? How can you be more effective? What are you doing different that they're doing? Oh my gosh, you're doing this in Flow Designer and writing a custom action. Why are you doing that rather than putting this in a script include? And sometimes you just get the answer, well, I don't know. That's the way I always did it. Those are fun discussions to have.
All right. Well, we had Dhruv join us. So Dhruv, we've just been sharing some advice for the developer community. Do you have anything that you want to take a couple minutes and share?
Developer community. So interestingly, we were having one conversation over LinkedIn. I think it was Robert's post. I was like, there's always a One thing that I realize is like it's not about being service now or anything, but when you're starting something, don't compare your first chapter with the 20th chapter of someone. So
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I I discovered this like uh, when I started my ServiceNow journey, I was like $400 per month. But now, obviously, this salary has increased, and someone starting ServiceNow just came to me today saying, "I want to earn this much in the beginning itself. I'm getting pretty low." I was like, "Okay." And second thing that I put on the comments as well, like if you want to learn ServiceNow or for ServiceNow specifically, it's just a three-step process that you can follow first. Be sure with your dev and app stuff. Second, pick a domain. Third, excel in it. That's it. And from technical, I can go on for like long, but that's the general. And one thing I realized, like what to do when your router is not working at 2 a.m. and then you realize the normal thing doesn't work. I had a screwdriver today after a long time and just reopened those wirings and plugs. But it was fun at 2 a.m. to do that.
That doesn't sound fun to do that.
At 2 a.m., you are looking at the router, you are looking at your laptop. Come on, come on, come on. Why is for fun?
Yeah. All right.
From Anders, we have make sure you have the best basics, and always ask yourself if your feature will work tomorrow. Reducing technical debt is the best thing you could do for your instance, and you achieve that by never accepting the need for workarounds and pursuing the need for proper design. He says, reducing technical debt is the best for your instance. It's the best for you. Because the worst technical debt is the one you cause yourself.
Yeah, I can attest to that. We've got an instance that's about 10 years old and it's had an accelerator and about 15 partners and all sorts of stuff all through it. And it's an ongoing fight for our internal dev team and the current 3 partners that we're working with to sort of understand and remediate and fix that stuff. And it's rabbit holes after rabbit hole after rabbit hole. Interesting. Yeah, very interesting. But if you can, don't do it. Stick to best practice.
Documentation helps too to unravel that rabbit hole. I've written myself several notes into the future that say, this code is called from a scheduled job. It's also then this happens, which triggers a new record, and that starts a flow, which has an action that calls this script include. Because I'm going to come back to this in probably 3 months, let alone 24 months. I go, what was I smoking? It worked great, except for this one thing. And just to have a friendly note like that is really helpful. I also tend to make lots of what I'll call informal data models in PowerPoint, just so I can remember what table is connected to which other one and how that works. So just some notes to yourself to help if it's a non-trivial situation. Obviously, every catalog item doesn't need to have in-depth documentation, but when you start scripting, you put the script into an action, and the action into a flow, and it can really get convoluted really fast.
All right. And then we've got one from Paige up here. Don't be afraid. Don't shy away from something because you don't feel like you're able to do it or lack the knowledge to do it. You can learn and you will be a better developer because of that learning. If you always stay within your comfort zone, you'll never grow. This is definitely true. Something I've run into before. I think, I know for me, like I like to know everything and I like to, I like to be good at stuff. And there's always this period of time where like maybe there's something new and I'm like, I'm going to learn this thing. And there's always this period of time where I'm like, I'm never going to do that. Like, I'm never going to be able to learn this. And then eventually you spend enough time with something and you end up learning it. And then, you can turn around and do something with it. So I actually had that situation with UI Builder at the beginning of the year where I was like, I'm going to spend a lot of time and figure out how this works. And it was tough at the beginning, but I think I got to a point where I'm kind of comfortable with it now. And I think that can be applied to anything, anything you want to learn by anyone. Just kind of pick something and go for it, and don't be afraid. And there's lots of resources and there's lots of people that want to help you succeed.
I like to put a personal application on that too. So you've got a personal stake in learning this. It becomes more fun. It becomes, I want to learn this because, I'm going to automate my house, or whatever your use case happens to be, the Boy Scout barbecue or the company auction. You'll find yourself looking for opportunities. And then what happens is every release, you start to see some of the new features and you go, oh, I want to put that on. Oh, I want to put that on. And your application and your knowledge by its very nature will grow as well. So sometimes, your use case runs its course and you've done what you came to do. Come up with another one. You don't have to look very far to think of something to digitize, but having that personal investment really helps you grow, and you'll find yourself sneaking in time. Mine happens to be generally around the holidays to get a lot of things done on your personal applications. And that's your learning and growth time too.
And there is one other way as well. Like what I used to do initially, when want to learn something new, and whenever you are trying to learn anything new, it's boring initially. If you start with ServiceNow as well, then you will find it boring. So what I used to do is, like, I still remember that I used to bribe myself. Like on the participant guide, I just put on the tags. Like if I reach till page 80 or 90, I'll give myself a chocolate or something like that. Or maybe that, if you remember that 100% sugar thing. So if you pass that initial phase, no, with ServiceNow or any technology, initial phase is tough. But once you get in, then the journey is smooth. And with ServiceNow, it's amazing. But
I
if
got to
that
try that
is,
chocolate, huh? Because I'm usually one of those people that go, yeah, convince me. And
that's how it has worked for me. Like, you want to learn new technology, start with that thing. Initially is boring, but keep that thing, keep yourself into it, and you will, at the end, you will have something good with you.
Drew, I'm going to ask
Yeah.
you this: what can we do to make it less boring at the beginning? Is it get hands on or get a result faster? Is it
No,
do something more fun first?
see something amazing. So in my last organization, I used to train the freshers who are starting their career, and showing them, putting them into directly into ServiceNow. What are roles? What is ServiceNow developer instance? What is this? I have told this earlier as well. I showed them something interesting. One of my application that I have built, like something, anything, like if you remember that Instagram fake liker. So I have shown that in the live audience of like 60-70 people who are starting their career. They are having their first interaction with ServiceNow. I told them, forget about the slide, forget about what ServiceNow is. I showed them that app that I built in like 2 hours using this platform. Who wants to learn that? You get almost 100% people saying that yes, I want to go into that. And then if you, that's the initial trigger. If you give them the initial trigger, the journey is easy. For me, the initial triggers were chocolate. So
I like connecting learnings with other interests of mine, other hobbies. I think I've talked about it a couple times around the place, but I've recently got into collecting vinyl records, and somebody on Facebook Marketplace had like a collection of 5,000 records and a link to a website where they were all cataloged, but it was really difficult to search. So I ended up using the API for the website with a data stream action to import them into a table so that I could do all of the ServiceNow filters on these records to see if there was any that I wanted. And then I provided that back to them as a Excel and said, here, you can use this to manage who's buying what and not have to use the website. So I ended up getting a few free records out of that because I helped them. It was really good.
It almost feels like a rite of passage for all ServiceNow new developers is, what kind of things can I automate or integrate into my instance. If you look at my GitHub, all the old repositories are like integrate with YNAB, integrate with this video game system, integrate with this other website.
Yeah, that's what makes it fun though. Like and that gets you doing one extra thing before you log off for the week, and all those one extra things just, over time they really start to add up.
All right. Before we go, we have about 15 minutes left. Does anybody have something that is not a specific product that they're really excited about for 2022? Chuck.
I am really excited to get back to seeing people face to face. We had just a small taste of this in 2021 with in-person events. We're hearing some rumblings that part of Knowledge/CreatorCon hashtag Safe Harbor is going to be in person. Developer meetups, if we can do that face to face, that's what I'm really excited about, is get back to seeing people and engaging them face to face. And I'm so excited I bought new business cards.
Because Chuck is the one person on this call that needs business cards.
Yeah, that's right.
I have one of every business card in my entire career. I counted them up when I got this last batch in. The first one always goes right into that stack. I've got 27 of them dating back to 1985, 86, something like that. So that's just one of those weird collections I have.
No context.
Yeah.
Does it include a bow tie? Is there a logo on your business card with a bow tie on it, or?
No, they wouldn't let me put that on my latest ServiceNow one. I'll have to get a personal one like that.
Got to stick to the branding.
Yeah, TJ, that comment was rather disturbing.
I think he was following up with how you have to get business cards, but wait, I guess it doesn't follow so much.
I think he's excited for in-person meetups too, and wants to look good.
Yes.
He needs new pants for it.
It's a way to try to save that, Jared. I liked it. Anybody else excited about something in 2022?
I'm excited for how long Brad's beard will potentially get.
We'll see.
I'm excited about meeting new people and continuing my growth in ServiceNow platform and my career, whether that's where I am or different, as long as my manager isn't watching.
The other thing I'm excited about is the focus that we're getting from our upper management. We've got a new VP. We've got a new director for the developer program as of last Monday. And it shows that there's some investment coming. We recognize, thanks to you and your survey feedback and comments on the air and off the air, that where the gaps are, and we can begin to address those. Like better enablement material, better onboarding program, better recognition system. So there's a lot of things that are coming, maybe not all at once, by knowledge, but we will get to those. And the fact that there's some focus, there's some investment, that really excites me.
Any of the MVPs? Anything else y'all are excited about?
I just had a review this year with Rangu, with 2021, all the things we've done this year, and looking ahead to 2022. And I can tell you that I am very excited about the next year. Don't want to go into too much detail right now, but I think some of the stuff that you've touched on there, Chuck, about investing in people, some of the stuff Upside Andrew was mentioning about, taking on kind of leadership roles, looking after people, and some of the other noise that you might be seeing out there in the community around shortage of talent as well, about how do we actually bridge the gap? We've got a lot of customers that have got ServiceNow and they need to solve all these problems. And we've got a massive community of people with skills, resources. How do we all get together and actually help the customers achieve that value that they've invested in? The opportunity for next year is huge. If that involves in-person events, I'm very up for it. But I think whatever we're doing next year is going to be really positive, and I'm really looking forward to it.
And for
Absolutely.
me, it's like I recently moved to London and I got an opportunity to meet Phil on the Diwali day, if I remember correctly. So I'm pretty excited for Knowledge this year. Hopefully, if it happens, not virtually, but I'll get an opportunity to meet you all, and I'm pretty excited about that. If that happens,
Excited about a new cohort of MVPs, more new faces.
yep.
Yeah. I've talked to a couple of MVPs and former MVPs about some joint, just non-enterprise but fun community projects, just to figure out how some of these tools work. Right? Let's run a Bitcoin miner on a mid server. Let's do whatever. Right? Doesn't have to be practical to be fun. So I'm looking forward to jumping back in on some not just solo projects. Myself in a coffee shop type of thing, but more of a group projects.
Jared's going to be selling the first ServiceNow NFTs. I'm excited for next year, new dev programs that are one being the mentorship program coming very soon as next month. And then another program that's in the works that we can't talk about so much, but there's a lot of things. Like we said, we're getting a lot more support in the developer program. ServiceNow from top down is getting a little bit more aware that they need to support developers because developers drive a lot of the business. So it's exciting to see the support and the excitement around new dev programs and enhancing of existing programs. So that's what I'm excited about.
Yeah, so Earl and Phil both said a similar thing. And would anybody on the call here disagree with me that would say if you are a day one ServiceNow developer today, did you miss the boat? Are you too late to the scene?
Absolutely
You are at the
not.
right time, man. You are at the right time if you're entering service.
You could probably walk in and demand your own salary at this point.
Yeah. Nope. It's a good time. If you're watching this, you're in a good career field.
I think the demand for ServiceNow developers has never been higher.
Hit me up on LinkedIn.
How many LinkedIn invites do you, or recruiters do you get pinging you on a daily basis? It's crazy.
How many?
I thought I would get less once I joined ServiceNow. I get more now.
How many dev jobs do you get offered, Chuck? Just out of curiosity.
I get several per week, and I'm starting to get some more developer advocate propositions from startups. I've never heard of these companies, and they want a developer advocate. I'm like, you would have to pay me a metric boatload of money to tear me away from the greatest job in the world.
I do get I get some of those same developer advocate jobs, and the way they describe the unicorn startup makes me think of the Mad Lib SNDevs job posting. Because sometimes I'll see it and I'm like, is that real or is that from SNDevs? So yeah, there's some crazy stuff out there.
I am looking forward to one or more in-person karaoke parties.
Yes, please.
Nice. All right. We've got a few minutes left. I want to say something that I learned this year is that Earl's taller than I think he is, only on video. And I'm excited about a lot of our products that we're going to be releasing next year. So there's some really cool stuff coming, and I can't wait to introduce them to everyone. So yeah, but before we go, we have to rate our beers or whatever we're drinking, waters, coffee. How was it? So we'll go ahead and start with Chuck.
We must have been talking for a while. Mine's not completely gone, but the traditional Phoenix, Mexico beer, the Modelo Especial Cerveza. This goes down easy. It's nice. It's a good yellow beer. I'm going to give this 3.75.
Very nice.
Nice yellow beer is not I don't know that I've heard anything described that way before.
Well, because I can't nail down the style. Is it a lager?
All right.
Whatever. So you go with yellow.
Yellow.
It's yellow. It's a yellow beer. It is. What would you call this?
That's fair. I think I would go amber or golden, something like that. But
Yeah,
The
a
Modelo.
pale straw.
I had an early bird NOLA style milk stout. Anytime you put coffee in beer for me is probably going to get me a high rating. It's actually really good. I would probably give this a 4. Solid.
right.
So I would rate water full out of full because you can keep yourself hydrated.
Water plus plus.
So my coffee's empty. It was obviously a 5 out of 5 because if you take what Earl said and take away the beer, then it's just better. Just coffee, perfect. 5 out of 5.
You have an IV drip on the side,
Yeah.
going straight into your veins.
This was solid. 3.5 or 4 for the Colorado Cola.
Yeah, and for the Coopers Pale Ale, yeah, it's always good memories from Australia, so it's always a 5.
Nice.
I need to try one of them, Mark, because I know you. I think you're sponsored by them.
That and Instant Scan.
I've got the Siren Calypso. I'll be honest, it started off as a kind of 2.5 to 2.5 for me, but I'm finishing that on a 3.5. I would say it's up. It's slowly crept up. I'm getting.
How strong is it? Is that what happened?
I know, that's what I was
happier?
thinking.
Yeah.
It's not about the drink; it's more about the quantity at that point.
No, it's a 4.0 percentage wise, but I think it's gone up to a 3.5 for me. But yeah, Siren Calypso.
Drew, do you have some water, coffee, or anything?
I'll be unbiased as always. I was drinking Coke. I don't have the cane with me, but
That's right.
it's always a
You've always
5.
has a Coke.
Always a 5.
Always a 5.
Awesome. All right, and then I've got the double vanilla noir. I definitely tasted the Madagascar vanilla, but I don't know about the Tahitian vanilla. So we're gonna go 4.5.
Write a strongly worded letter.
That's right. I need both vanillas. Yeah, so 4.5 out of 5. I think we shared all of the announcements. Chuck and I did a podcast series where what did we do? 5 or 6? Becoming
6.
a ServiceNow developer. I think we're about halfway through. We're doing those every Wednesday for 6 weeks. So look for those. We had a lot of fun doing it. We actually did one in person, which was cool last week. I think it's the last one. So yeah, any other announcements from y'all?
Mark your calendars. February 3rd is Early Access Day. That is also going to be the day we do Tech Now episode 93 on the San Diego platform features. So scratch that down. It's 8 a.m. Pacific time, usual place. We will get the registration page up in a couple of minutes. How about a couple of weeks? I think our team isn't quite that fast because it's got a lot of other people. We will be coming back in the new year with some new stuff too. So there's a lot of thought being given to rearranging and what do we put into each of the slots. We've got a new man, Marcelo, at the helm of this team. So he's going to give us some insight. We didn't mention Marcelo yet to this team. He's our new boss. And he comes to us from Microsoft, got 13, 16 years, some crazy experience with Microsoft in one of their developer programs and AWS in their developer program. So lots of good experience, and we're looking forward to getting him spun up over the next few weeks / months and seeing some wonderful things from him.
Don't forget to sign up for CreatorCon Call for Content if you have a talk in mind. Don't forget to go to the blog to make sure to sign up for MVP candidacy if that's something that interests you. Check out the developer website if you don't have a PDI yet and you don't even know what we're talking about. Why are you watching this episode?
All right. Well, thanks to everybody. Thanks to all the MVPs for being here. Thanks, Chuck. Thanks, Earl. And have a happy holidays. We will be back in January. So have a happy holidays, and we're glad you're here.
Stay safe, everyone.
Bye.
Merry Christmas, guys. Bye.